Happy New Year, you sexy beasts, and welcome back to the Fernando Alonso Career Mode. Round 8 of the World Championship takes us to Fernando's home territory, the Spanish Grand Prix. If you did miss the previous round over at Monaco, do go and check it out. I promise you, you will not regret it, because what a weekend it was. So let's keep the momentum boulder rolling on as we head into qualifying. It's been about, 6 centuries since I last drove the Spanish Grand Prix track, but even so, through this last section, we're doing particularly well, as through the final 2 corners we go with the downforce we have. Actually up into 6th briefly, but unfortunately not the straight line speed that we would have wanted, and so it will be P7 for the Spanish Grand Prix, Fernando's home race. Not a bad start to proceedings, but after our first pole position last time out, we would have been hoping for much, much better. Of course, well, guess who's on pole? Shock. Mercedes look to be on the front foot, interestingly. Hamilton and Russell, 4th and 5th respectively. Very impressive indeed. Splitting the Ferraris and close to Sergio Perez. Meanwhile, for us Aston Martin boys, there is work to do. But we know we can rinse these remedials. We've done it before. So let's go racing.
Welcome to the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, 1991, Senna versus Mansell, 2000, Schumacher's Ralph and Michael versus Rubens Barrichello. Legendary clashes. What drama awaits us today at the Spanish Grand Prix?
Let's spring up a Spanish siesta for everyone then. 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go after Star Wars 8's completed, but it's a decent start actually. The car hunkering down, the tyres bite into the bitumen and immediately threatening Carlos Sainz, but we're blocked off by Russell. However, the outside line opens up round the outside of both of them. Sainz and Russell dispatched off immediately, and the Spanish crowd are sent into raptures, but not before Sainz has a go at us, nipping at our heels like a hungry dog, but we slap him out to the outside. No biscuits for you, sir. And we keep P5 for the time being. So the chase for the front 4 begins, and honestly, with our high downforce setup, the main straight is going to have to be the litmus test. Of course, in qualifying, we know how strong the AI are. We know how immediate they are on the pace and on the ball. Verstappen currently leads the Grand Prix. Slipstream on Hamilton, not even using ERS. And it's great news. We're catching the 7-time champion and round the outside of the 7-time champion. Easily dispatch of Sir Lewis Hamilton into P4. And now the chase for Chuck Leclerc can begin. But we can't afford to throw it all away. And we know that DRS is going to be so strong. So we have to keep it together and be on the pace. Lap number 3 now, and it's good news. Because we're actually, firstly, bloody quick. Only 2 tenths off Verstappen. And not only that, well within the DRS confines of Charles Leclerc up ahead. Which is exactly what we need, because in this canoe, we need to hoist ourselves forwards as much as we can. The only problem, of course, is that he will, of course, have DRS off the Red Bull boys. Or so I thought, because as we go down the straight, look at the time simply erode away. Leclerc hasn't got DRS at all. His flap is not deployed, not wide open for all to see. Leclerc, that's disgusting, mate. There are many things that go on this channel, but I draw the line at flappage, to be quite honest. As through Sector 3 we go, we need to make sure that Leclerc has learnt his lesson. And indeed, we are absolutely flying. Almost lap number 6 now of this Grand Prix. The 2 Red Bulls are absolutely flying, and we cannot afford to be held up by Leclerc. I know I've got pace in the reservoir, in the tank, and we're going to deploy all of that pace with DRS to boot. Look at how quickly we go. Send Leclerc to the inside to dispatch of him round the outside. Lovely little move there. That's going to be the Fernando signature. The Fernando full frontal assault is well and truly back in all its glory. And now the job is on to try and keep up with the Red Bull boys. But, rather unfortunately, we have a problem. And that is Sergio Perez. Well, not actually Perez, because he's slow. But rather unfortunately, not slow enough to stop himself from getting in Verstappen's DRS. Lap number 8 of this Grand Prix. And unfortunately, throughout this whole stint, he kept well within DRS range through the left-hander. The main thing now is just getting away from Leclerc, which on lap number 9, we don't do, which is rather unfortunate. But through those couple of corners, you will have seen there, gaining time on Perez, 2 tenths almost. He just immediately regains that advantage in that one short straight. Such is the power of the DRS round this Spanish Grand Prix track. And again, through Sector 3, you can see the car insanely hooked up, my driving insanely hooked up, Alonso on another level, as he always is in Formula 1. Barring very exceptional circumstances, but we won't talk about them. So we're in a limbo. We are in a limbo of P3. We got away from Leclerc. Into the pits we go, therefore. Yes, lap number 11. We pit on the same lap as Verstappen, who goes on the hards. Rather interesting, then. So, Max Verstappen could well have shot himself in the foot. Into the pits with a purple turn-in. Mediums on our wagon. And no mistakes made by the pit crew, who are as precise and phenomenal as always. So, thank you very much. There goes Alex Albon up into P6. Oh, no! Leclerc with the undercut, and he's absolutely taken us to school there. And we have to send Ricciardo out with the elbows. Otherwise, that would have been extremely catastrophic. It's catastrophic enough, to be honest with you, and we're in the doldrums behind the Ferrari man, the prancing horse, finding a spring in its step here on lap number 12. And so we've got to do the work all over again. Good news, because Alexander Albon's up ahead. And just like in real life, his car is wider than the Williams factory, which means Charles Leclerc, even with the DRS, tried to go to the outside, which in itself is a bit of a brain-dead move, but disregarding his eroding brain cells, through the final section we go. Albon has done us an absolute solid, as into the pits he goes. He will give Leclerc a helping hand of DRS, but we have that as well. And with Slipstream, surely there's only one outcome. Surely just as quickly as we lost P3, we're going to regain that advantage to the inside of Leclerc, down the inside of Leclerc, into P3 again. And that will do very nicely. And so, just like the beginning stanza of this race, we have a job to do. Keep Leclerc at arm's length, and Perez has come out of the pit lane 1.3 seconds ahead. This could get tasty. End of that same lap then, and as you can see, the gap to Perez, we've whittled away at it slightly, but not by too much, only a couple of tenths in it. But, crucially, we have the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 13.9. We are flying here at this Spanish Grand Prix track, so Perez should be getting a bit sweaty under his tushy. Again, probably not legal on this platform. Perez had better be ready, though. I'm no Red Bull driver, but sometimes when you try and grab the bull by the horns, it will take you for a ride. And that is what we'll try to do. Lap number 15. Our main aim right now. Oh, no. Oh, no. Albon's out. That's very sad. Anyway, through the hairpin we go, still keeping within that 1.1 to 1.2 second range of Perez. And part 1 of our list is almost being ticked off. As through the left-hander we go, now it is ticked off. Charles Leclerc is out of DRS range. And that is great news. One less thing to worry about. Not only trying to leech in Perez as much as possible, reel in the big Mexican fish up ahead. The Monegasque shark was snapping at our heels. Shark Leclerc again, in full force. However, we have curtailed that threat, and now we can firmly set our focus on Perez. And here we are, 1 lap later, teetering on the edge of being within DRS. And there it is. There it is. And let's battle commence. DRS wide open, and we can use not only the DRS to get closer to Perez, but both of our pace together is way quicker than Leclerc, almost 2 seconds behind us. So surely, there is nothing that he can do. Lap number 20, and as you can see, oh no, there wasn't. I love a little bit of pantomime, and I played the pantomime villain against Leclerc, who finds himself as a damsel in distress, 4.6 seconds behind. As we head on to the end of lap number 20, my original plan was to reel up to the back of Perez, give him a wave as I went past, use both of our pace and DRS to catch up to Verstappen and try and win. However, that hasn't happened, and so through turn 1, look how close we are. That is as close as we have ever been to overtaking the Red Bull man at our home race. And so come the end almost of lap 21, we remain at that distance. We have kept Perez well within our reticule. He is truly our next target. We are the massive predator in this little food chain. And surely it's only inevitable. Once again, we have been ruthlessly chipping away. Ruthlessly consistent every single lap. And this is it. Penultimate lap of the Grand Prix in front of the home-adoring fans. Sergio Perez not even using ERS. We breeze past the Mexican driver. Surging past Sergio into turn 1. We're easily past. And it's P2 on the road. Fantastic. And with fastest lap. I mean, surely nothing can go wrong now. Oh, cock on a crumble. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix. And my plan of absolutely sailing away into the sunset hasn't happened. One, because it isn't sunset. That was obvious. But secondly, because Perez has DRS, we move straight to the inside to stop him having any chance of using our slipstream, and it's worked brilliantly. No chance for the Mexican driver to retake our P2. The AI is so quick through this first section, again, using whatever little remains of the Energizer Bunny's reserves, who's firmly in a induced coma at this point, but through the hairpin he can have a little bit of resuscitation, as we won't use too much. Forget that. We are going to have to throttle him even more. We're not going to give Perez any chance of being near us, and luckily through these corners he's dropped the ball. Extremely dropped it, down to 6.5 temps, and now trying to reel it back in again, but it's not going to be enough surely. And at this point I was grinning in the cockpit. That's not my Friday night, so you can stop that right now. But I knew it was done. I knew the job was completed. It might not be the win today, but what a show we put on for the home fans. It will be Max Verstappen who wins again at the Spanish Grand Prix. But what a drive from us. P2 at the Spanish Grand Prix. The home fans will be absolutely delighted with that. Oh no. But superb consistency and ruthless efficiency. Driver of the day. What a performance at our home race. Woo.
A real team effort then, which has paid off in spades. A great victory here at the Spanish Grand Prix. So, Natalie, what made the difference out there today?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They've performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Well, there you go then. Max Verstappen has another race win in 2023. You got to say it was a long time in the making. The fact he hasn't won multiple races this year has been, well, for lack of a better term, extremely unrealistic. But here we are. That's the way the cookie has crumbled. And Verstappen's cookie hasn't been the sweetest to bear. But today, he will take some solace. A win for him, but P2 for us. I mean, good lord, what a race we had, and Leclerc wasn't even close. 7 seconds was the gap between ourselves and him by the end. The pace and the DRS was absolutely lethal, and that's all we needed. Our consistency was off the charts today, and who knows what it could have been had Leclerc stayed in that DRS, had the Red Bulls not escaped. It could even have been a win. Who even knows? Mercedes doing quite well, Ferrari doing well, McLaren not doing as well. Mercedes, therefore, have a little bit of an advantage on them. But let's have a look at the drivers' standings. Our gap at the top is cut into, which is, it's depressing times. However, it's hardly anything. 6 points is all that Verstappen has cut into us. And after that perfect weekend in Monaco and the race wins that we've had thus far, I mean, it's a tall order. It is a tall order for Max Verstappen, surely, unless it all goes horribly wrong, which is hopefully not a bad omen, but shut up. Mercedes with a much better run at things, and Hamilton finally escaping away from the McLaren boys once again. And it means in the constructors' standings, well, Red Bull lead, shock, who would have thought that? But for us, Aston Martin boys, 20 points on the board, Ferrari with 22, they only gained 2 points on us again. Stroll again with the solitary point, but if he's in the points anyway, I will take it. We get the big points, he can get the sardines at the bottom, the plankton, as it were. Otherwise, nothing's changed positions-wise, only a few gaps changing here and there. But there you go. Spanish Grand Prix done and dusted. And really, what a weekend for us again. I know it wasn't the race win, which I feel like some of us have come to expect at this point, but we did the job. We did everything that we needed to do, and we did it so damn well. If you did enjoy this round of the Fernando Alonso career mode, leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Plenty more Fernando Alonso shenanigans coming your way very soon indeed. Until the next round at the Canadian Grand Prix, I once again thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.